So a couple of weeks back, I was actually working on a video based on Dead Island 2, talking about what was happening with the game, where the hell it was these days, but eventually it was scrapped because looking online, the video had been done to death and nothing really had happened since 2020. But then of course, good old industry insider Tom Henderson released a video this week claiming that Dead Island 2 could actually be launching this year. Now that will come a full 8 years after its initial reveal, and what is 11 years since the original Dead Island game came out. And with the recent launch of Dying Light 2, I was wondering if it was too little too late for Dead Island. Announced back in 2014, Dead Island 2 was revealed a full year before Techland's first Dying Light game. And at this point it had been a few years since what I see as a very mediocre original and even worse pseudo spin-off sequel, whatever that game was. Originally developed by Jaeger Development, Dead Island 2 was then switched over to Sumo Digital before being switched over again to Dam Busters, and all the while the game was just very quietly being pushed back time and time again to the point that many people didn't even think the game was ever coming out. Now there's probably quite a few people out there who are excited over the idea of a Dead Island sequel, and with the enormous launch of Dying Light 2, it's very clear that people still like zombie games. But there's also a question of momentum and brand awareness at this point. The Dead Island franchise does have a bit of a cult following, but unlike Dying Light, the series hasn't really been keeping up appearances with DLC or the like. I mean, literally the last official thing that we have heard on this franchise was a response tweet from Deep Silver almost 2 years ago now. Now besides the brand awareness, there's also the question of premise and originality. Dying Light 2 in my mind failed in its promise to create a branching narrative that truly immersed the player, but at the same time, they had a really great parkour and a sandbox that made it so fun to traverse it. Now let's take this idea of the unique selling point and apply it to Dead Island 2. What exactly is the selling point of Dead Island 2? We know the game is going to be set in Hollywood, and we know it's going to be a far more colourful affair than both its predecessor and Dying Light. And I actually really like this idea of looting mansions in what is supposedly the Beverly Hills, and I think Hollywood can be a really interesting and diverse setting. And of course the colour as well, it's quite refreshing to see a post-apocalypse that's actually colourful. But is a colourful post-apocalyptic Hollywood setting enough to sell people in a zombie game? Taking a look at the gameplay from 2015, nothing much seems to have changed mechanically, so what is this game going to do that franchises like Dead Rising or The Walking Dead or even Back 4 Blood haven't done already? Now according to Henderson's sources, the game is actually in a good state, but in my mind, and let me know what you think of this, it needs to be more than just another zombie game to warrant its existence, and the mere idea that the game's in a good state doesn't entirely sell me in the fact that it is anything other than just that. And that really is my biggest worry for the game. How much has the game changed since its initial reveal in 2014? How many of those concepts back then are old news now? By the time Dead Island 2 comes out, will any of the things that were supposed to make it special actually be special? Then if you look at the time since its reveal, open world games are a dime a dozen, and there's a real focus on long living games, and those can take the form of either online live service games like Apex Legends, or maybe even solo experiences like Dying Light 2, which have years of post-launch support planned. Now there is something to be said about a game you can pick up, play, finish and put down, and I think that's why a lot of us here at JumpCut are enjoying Sifu so much. But Dam Busters and Deep Silver are going to be looking at ways to amp the longevity of Dead Island 2. Now hopefully we'll be hearing something soon, and if Henderson's reports are to be believed, then we should be seeing something hopefully within the next 6 months or so. But until then, we're just going to have to hope and pray that Dam Busters have cooked up something interesting. As always, leave a comment down below, let us know what you think of Dead Island 2. Are you excited for it? Do you think it's too late? Do you think it's just going to be another mediocre experience? And if you can like the video, and subscribe to the channel if you loved it. We'll catch you next time. See you guys.